Welcome, my fellow Koopalings. I'm Yoshi on the Go. Thanks for joining me on my corner of the internet today. Obviously, last time we talked about some decade highlights that that were highlights of my decade. And today, just in case you can't read, we're talking about the same thing, but with TV shows. These are my favorite TV shows of the decade. And it's in reverse alphabetical order, so let's begin. But starting things off, Young Justice. Beast Boy is in it, and that makes me happy because I loved Teen Titans so very much. Young Justice is a really good one. Season 3, it was indefinitely canceled, but then Season 3 just dropped a couple of years later, and now it's available, and it looks really good. I need to watch it, though. But I loved the crap out of Season 1 and Season 2. Next on the list, probably the most influential show of this decade, The Walking Dead. I really like zombies, and admittedly, I did fall off. Let's see, we got almost all the steelbooks right here. But what's the last episode? Season 8? I haven't even seen all of Season 8. And now it's on Season, 10 or 11, which is kind of crazy. But seriously, one of the best shows of the decade, one of my favorite shows, probably my favorite show of the decade, just because it has zombies and it has such a visceral, real take on zombies. And once Negan got into the picture and started bashing people's heads in with baseball bats, I'm just like, ew, gross, no, that's not zombies, that's like brutality, and I'm not really interested in that. But it's still a very compelling story, very compelling show. Just the first season, just the first episode on itself is like probably one of the best zombie movies of all time. Yeah, a little bit newer to this list, just dropped on Netflix last year, The Umbrella Academy. Another comic book TV show, I guess. One of many comic book TV shows on my list for the decade. This one was just so fresh and so different and so crazy, and I can't wait for season 2. All of the cast, the writing, the direction, the plot. It's just unique, and it's different, and it's fun. And that's why it's on my list for the decade.
When's it supposed to happen? In 8 days.
And it deals with apocalypses, so that's cool too. So Young Justice is the animated version of Teen Titans, and now we've got a live action version of Teen Titans. Teen Titans has, for a long time, been my favorite, thanks to Beast Boy. And of course, Young Justice is on this list for a more mature look at this aspect of the DC Universe. And now we've got the mature live action look in Titans. The writing is pretty bad, the acting is okay, the visuals are very low budget, but I like it. So hopefully season 2 is also good. Season 2 is already out, I think, but not on DVD yet. But I enjoyed my time for the most part. Again, it's very cringy, not for everyone, but Beast Boy's in it, and it's Teen Titans, so that's cool. So this one, The Rain, pretty different. It's a Norwegian or Swedish show, one or the other. Basically dealing with this toxic rain that kills everybody, and these kids are trapped in a bunker, and obviously the apocalyptic aspect is a very appealing to me. I'm a big fan of those apocalyptic scenarios. But also, just the scenario in general, regardless of the apocalypse, is very intriguing. The location and the cinematography are all very appealing as well. And the actors are pretty good, even though I've never heard of them. I don't know who they are. Now I do. But yeah, The Rain. It's on Netflix. You'll need subtitles unless you speak whatever language they speak. But it's definitely worth a watch. And I've enjoyed all 2 seasons of it on Netflix so far. From the creators of Parks and Rec and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Both on this list, which we'll get to later because it's reverse alphabetical. The Good Place. It's just a happy-go-lucky, goofy comedy with a pretty good twist at the end, if I do say so. Season 4 is just about to drop, and I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, it's a really good time. It basically deals with that girl person, dude, lady. What's her name? I don't know. She's in Heroes. The electric girl. Anyways, but she's a terrible person, and she mistakenly got put in the good place. And everything around her is slowly unraveling because of her. Or is it? Anyways, it's a really good plot, really good acting, really good writing and cinematography and editing and all that stuff. And it's just fun and it's funny. Fun and funny. Those are 2 different things, and it's both of them. So yeah, Good Place. It's worth watching. Probably another highlight of this decade, just the surprise hit of Stranger Things that just came out of nowhere. And even though it's an 80s TV show and I'm a 90s child, I'm hardcore vibing with this show. Like, it's just so nostalgic, even though I don't really know anything about the 80s other than what I've seen in TV shows and movies and stuff. The supernatural aspect of it is also really, really, really cool with the impending upside down takeover, which is also pretty apocalyptic. The characters are awesome. The mood and the setting is awesome. If you don't know what this is, like, please go watch it. It's so good, you're not going to regret it. Probably the newest member on this list, Star Trek Discovery. I just got the Steelbooks, and I am so much in love. I'm a big Star Trek fan. Not so big that I've seen all the episodes and all the movies, but I've seen most of the movies and a handful of the episodes. I really would like to get into the original and the Next Generation, and then there's a bunch of others too that there's just too many to keep track of. But it's Star Trek, and I like it. What else is there to say? I really like the premise of this. Instead of a big space battle, which of course there is a lot of big space battle stuff going on, it's a little bit different in dealing with ecology and biology and kind of a bit of a fuel light speed warping technology race, where who can have the better light speed warping technology. The humans or the or the bad guys. Oh gosh, who are they called again? Cryons. I promise I am a real Star Trek fan. Don't at me. Sneaky Pete, a crime show dealing with a convict that is released from prison, and he basically takes over his inmate's life and takes over his family because they haven't seen him in 20 years, and so he just like, hey, I might be able to rob these people because they seem like they're pretty well off, so I'll just sneak myself into this family and pretend that I'm this person Pete who I'm not. And then it just unravels so quickly from there. It's really hilarious. It's pretty heartwarming. Definitely not for kids. There's a lot of language and other stuff that is a little awkward and uncomfortable at times. But the writing and the acting is super fun, and it's quite the ride. And now I just finished watched season. Oh, Norman, you're killing me, dude. Come here. You just need to pick a place and stay there, okay? Here, pick a place and stay there. Norman is navigating through my microphone and my lights and my cameras, and they're all precariously positioned. Thank you, Norman. And it's freaking me out. But yeah, Sneaky Pete, really good. I just finished watching season 3, and it was just great. I love this natural progression after the end of season 1. Where would you go from here? Because things didn't go according to plan. But seasons 2 and 3 is a really good follow-up, I think. It's really, really good. Go watch it. It's Amazon Prime, so you need Amazon Prime, but it's definitely worth watching. For sure. Probably the most unique TV show on this list, Sherlock. My first exposure to Benedict Cumberbatch, now known as Doctor Strange. I love how each season is actually only like 3 episodes or 4 episodes, but each episode is like 2 hours long, and it spans over a great deal of time. It's not just like a day or a week or a couple of days like typical TV sitcom, typical dramas are. It's structured differently than any other TV show I've ever seen. I think that's more of a British thing, though. Maybe not. Have I seen season 4 yet? I don't know if I've seen season 4 yet. I don't think I have. But it's really great. It makes you feel really smart and clever, like, oh, after you watch it, and that's why I like it. Sherlock. Go check it out. Probably the most divisive TV show on this list, Riverdale. Beautifully shot, incredible colors and cinematography. Each episode and each season is increasingly more frustrating to watch because it's just so completely ridiculous. And yet for some reason I keep watching it. Doggone it, Riverdale. And now that with the end of season 3 or 4, how that ended, like, I am so frustrated. Like, I am so done with the show. But I'm really not. I'm definitely going to watch it once it gets back on Netflix. Again, incredible color, cinematography, acting is really, really good. The cast is amazing. Writing I hate. The writing is so terrible. The plots are ridiculous. It's just so angsty and not for the faint of heart, but it's really pretty to look at. I think that's my favorite aspect of it. It's just like, wow, I like what I'm seeing. I'm not paying attention to the plot so much because it's stupid, but Riverdale is a good watch. Sort of. Oh, Person of Interest. This one is an intriguing concept. It's more of a crime drama thriller where basically someone invents this watching machine, like a Big Brother type of 1984 machine, that can assess threats before they happen. Kind of similar to Captain America Winter Soldier, not too dissimilar to that. But basically they go and they try to stop these crimes before they happen. And sometimes they succeed, sometimes they fail, and it's cool. 8 seasons. I've actually stopped watching after season 4, but I have all the seasons on iTunes, so I really need to get my act together. That's a common problem with me. I just hoard all these TV shows, movies, and games, and then I just don't get around to actually enjoying them. But Person of Interest is a really good crime drama, and I recommend it just if you're into crime stuff. Also, an Amazon Prime exclusive. What is this called? Gordimer Gibbons? Gordimer Gibbons, Life on Normal Street. Amazon Prime exclusive, 3 seasons. This is more of a happy-go-lucky, feel-good type of comedy. It's more aimed towards teens than anyone else. That doesn't bother me at all. All the characters and the writing is really good, the plots and all that stuff. I think there's just such a wide range of wacky things that happen on Normal Street, and there's something for everyone. Even if you don't like most of the episodes, there's going to be that one that like, oh, okay, I can relate to that, and it's really nice. Lots of awards. It's really good. It's very similar to Riverdale in the sense that there's just teen angst, but this one is much more lighthearted and happy-go-lucky and fun, and you actually feel like a better person after you watch it, which is why I recommend Gordimer Gibbons. It's Amazon Prime, so you do need Prime, but it's worth it. So, yeah. Ooh, Making a Murderer. This, Steve Avery. Real story. Basically, it documents how this guy was framed and he was set up from the beginning. Very divisive. Season 2 just dropped, and I need to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. I was excited to, but then I kind of forgot about it. So it's not super necessarily high on the list, but it's very interesting. A look at just, not just crime drama in general, but how real life crime is reported and considered and carefully looked at, and the court system and how, maybe the court system isn't so just. It might need a little bit of a reboot in the court system and the justice system. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting look at a real story that's still ongoing. Steve Avery is still in jail for this murder that he supposedly committed. I personally don't think that he did. I think that someone else took an opportunity to kill this lady, which is awful, and then the police, who already hated him and didn't like him very much, used that opportunity to frame it all on him. I don't think the police did it, but I think they jumped on an opportunity that was too, hook, line, and sinker, too good to be true. But it is an interesting look, and it makes me really grateful that I never leave my house and I stay out of trouble. It's fascinating. Go watch it. Dun dun dun. Another superhero TV show, pretty good. Luke Cage. I didn't think I would like it, but I actually did quite a bit. I typically when someone's indestructible and immune to all damage, it's just really boring. Like what was it, Superman? Like, oh please, that just don't even, that's so boring and just blah. But this takes a real human, real personal approach, just because it's some local native to the Queens neighborhood, I think, right? Or Brooklyn, Harlem. There's 1,000 different neighborhoods in New York. I don't, whatever. Also, it takes place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, although it's very, very not loosely connected. And we've got some double dippers. Cottonmouth here is double dipping as Blade in the upcoming Blade movie, whenever that's going to happen. So that's pretty cool. I come to think of it, I also really liked Iron Fist, and The Defenders was interesting, but it was kind of just okay. By no means is this my favorite superhero type show on TV this decade, but it's good just because of how personal it is, and it's different enough because of that personal aspect that's kind of why I liked it, I think. Oh, The Legend of Korra, so good. Avatar: The Last Airbender, also a top show from last decade, the 2000s. I've got the whole season, seen them all, and I need to go watch them all again because it's really good. I don't know, it's Korra. It's another Airbender tale. Really good animation, really good drawing and animation style, really good fighting sequences. It's a good time. Especially the final season, how they switch things up and wrap up the plot of the bigger world. I like it. And this was filmed after the fact. I actually forgot about iZombie, which I feel so dumb because this is one of my favorite shows, definitely in the top five. But what I like about it, obviously the zombies. There's the zombies, there's the Seattle element, and those are just two of my favorite things right there, right? But also, not only that, it's different than any other zombie movie, TV show, game, book, comic, anything that I've ever read before. And yes, this is based off of a comic book, so just keep that in mind. But it's a police procedural, but they're zombies. It's very interesting, and you get deeper and deeper into the zombie lore as time progresses. And I've just loved every minute of it. I've got the first 3 seasons on DVD. I've seen seasons 4 and 5, though, I'm pretty sure, on like Netflix and stuff. It's quirky, it's fun, it's just a police procedural mystery of the week with these overarching plots of, we're zombies are here, what does that mean for society? And it's a very interesting take on the zombie franchise. And hopefully we'll get those later seasons out on disc as well, because I'm all about that physical media collection life. All right, next up is Into the Badlands. This is another show that I totally forgot about, even though I have all 3 seasons on Blu-ray. This show is incredible. The fighting, the choreography, it's like each episode is an epic kung fu movie, and there's nothing like it that I've seen as far as TV shows are concerned. It's beautifully shot, the colors are incredible, the concept is very, very intriguing. It's a future world after an apocalypse. There's actually fan theory that Into the Badlands and The Walking Dead share a universe, but that's besides the point. It's in some future apocalypse, again with the apocalypse, I'm a big fan of those apocalypses, where guns don't exist anymore, and I guess the concept and the knowledge of guns don't exist anymore. So everything is all physical fighting and swords, and it's really intense. Very similar to Daredevil in that sense. It's very gritty, very real, it's in your face, and the choreography and the cinematography is why you should watch the show. But also the story and the characters are pretty good too, and the writing is pretty good too. And it's just a dang good time trying to figure out, like, who are these people, what is the what are the overarching mysteries of this world that's being built. And there's just a lot of very intriguing, very intense, high-octane action, and yeah, it's fantastic. Also, a really great animated instant classic, The Dragon Prince, exclusive to Netflix. You need Netflix to watch this. Animation style is really cool. I really liked season 1 a little bit better because they intentionally skipped frames. I think they animated it at like 12 frames a second, so it's intentionally jagged and janky, and it just looks so good. They fixed that. They fixed it for the season 2 and 3 upcoming, so they made it a lot smoother, more frames and stuff. It's all 3D animated. It looks like a video game. It's all cel shaded. The way they build lore slowly, piece by piece, but they also give you bigger chunks with how magic works and all these different races and these conflicts between humans and elves and dragons and all this other stuff is, I would say it's pretty unique to the fantasy genre. It's still fantasy, so there's still, the elves and the dragons and those typical fantasy tropes, but it's more watchable. Like, Game of Thrones never interested me at all. Like, I watched it and I thought, okay, then I forgot about it 30 seconds after I saw the trailer. This, though, I thought, just on watching the trailer, I'm like, oh my goodness, this looks incredible. I need to watch this immediately. And it's definitely worth a watch. The Dragon Prince on Netflix. I'm really hoping that they release like Blu-rays or 4K HDR Blu-ray like they did with Stranger Things, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. Another really intriguing foreign TV show, very much like Stranger Things in terms of mood, just a dark, gritty mood. Dark. Really, really good. Time travel shenanigans. We got a whole bunch of different characters. It's so confusing. It's like Heroes level of confusing. Like, who are these who are these people? What is happening? Oh man, is it over already? I think it's German, so you do need subtitles unless you speak German or understand German. But there's so many characters that you're going to be lost for a really long time. But it's a lot more enjoyable to watch on your second watch through, because you know who the characters are, and you know that, this character's neighbor is the future older version of this character's son, and they're the same person, and then these two are the same people too, and then there's time travel, and then forward time travel, backward time travel, sideways oh my gosh, like, what is even happening? It's very intriguing, and season 2 can't come soon enough. Go watch Dark on Netflix. Probably the best superhero TV show this decade, in my opinion, a Netflix exclusive, Daredevil, baby. What I like about this is how like dark and gritty it is. Very similar to, say, like Walking Dead. Oh, you know, The Punisher was really good too, I thought. I forgot to throw that on the list, but honorable mentions, Punisher and Iron Fist. Also, it's incorporated with the MCU, which is a plus. And every single episode, or every single season, there's one particular episode that has a really long take, like a 9-minute long take. And they are all three of them breathtaking. We've got the hallway scene rescuing the boy. We got the season 2 has the elevator / stairway scene as he descends and trying to compete with the Punisher. And then season 3, he has the prison break scene, which is like 20 minutes long. It's absolutely nuts. That's not the only reason though. It just looks good, and it's like super macho too. It's like a power fantasy for me because like obviously I can't do these things, but I like watching this blind lawyer ninja do all these things, and it's so good. Oh my goodness. Oh, Daredevil. I've got all the seasons on Blu-ray as well, which I think they're in storage. I only have the steelbooks over here, but it's so good. I really hope that they bring it back for season 4. I know Netflix isn't a thing anymore, but maybe on Disney Plus. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is also a recent discovery. I actually just started watching it last year. Overwhelming friend recommendations on Facebook and Instagram and other such things. So I bought the season 1 DVD for like $10, and it's a fantastic new show that I just love. So I've got a lot to catch up on, and I love what I see so far. Very similar to the veins of Psych, Community, and Parks and Rec. It's just funny. It's just the slapstick humor is really great, and the action is goofy, but it's palpable. It's doable. It's doable. But this is a show that you shouldn't take too seriously, and you just, if you're having a bad day, watch a couple of episodes to cheer you up. Just kind of like Gordon McGibbons. It feels good, even though it's not like, it doesn't really teach you any valuable life lessons or anything. It's just silly and goofy and fun. I like it. Bob's Burger is another favorite. I've only seen a few episodes though, and I gotta say it's probably lower on this list because I haven't liked it enough to seek it out on my own, but my sister has almost all the episodes, and we have binged most of seasons 1 and 2, I think. The art style is really fun. It's unique, and it's just really, really funny. Also, I totally forgot about Black Summer, which I really, really enjoyed. You know, more zombies, but still, really looking forward to season 2 this year. Ooh, Atypical is an interesting one, because, like, what genre is it? I don't know. Teen angst, high school, but like, is it a drama? Sort of. Is it a comedy? Kind of. It's just a real human story. And actually, fun fact, I auditioned for this show, which was really cool experience. The little audition popped up in my email. I'm like, hey, I can do this. Obviously, it didn't work out, but that's okay. Netflix original series. It deals with this kid basically on the autism spectrum, and how on earth does he navigate life, friends, school, all these things. And really, it's really fascinating and interesting to watch because everything's like from his perspective and how he deals with things and how things affect him, which is, I think, a really good thing for all of us to be more and more aware of, because these people do actually exist. And it's just good to know how to handle them and to know how to be kind to them, and that they're just regular people. Well, they're not regular people. They're just a little atypical, right? But yeah. All right, another superhero show, Arrow. I actually kind of fell off the bandwagon on this a little bit after season 3, and now it's on, season 9? But season 2 is probably one of the greatest seasons of any TV show I've ever watched, and that's not an exaggeration. Season 2 is incredible. And it's actually the only, of all the CW shows, this is the only, season 2 of Arrow is the only one I have on DVD. I would like to watch more, so maybe sometime in the future when I'm like reignited. I just love how, very much like Batman, how it's just a regular billionaire guy just trying to make a difference, and that's why I like it. I need to watch more of it though. So again, a little bit lower on the list because I kind of stopped watching after season 3, and it's like on season 8 now or whatever, but season 2 is amazing. Probably one of the best comedies of last decade, the 2000s, Arrested Development, which I didn't actually discover until this decade when a friend recommended it. And it was kind of dead for a little bit, but then it was brought back after like 10 years, and now we have seasons 4 and 5. Not nearly as good, as well written as the original, and because of crazy filming schedules, they can't get everyone all in the room at the same time, so It's a very different flow than what the show established for the first 3 seasons, so those aspects I don't like. But it's still, the charm is still there, the funniness and the jokes are still there, just and all the characters are still there. It's still very funny, just the flow not so good. But it's still worth watching, I think. It's Arrested Development. Oh, heck. See you tonight. Running joke that Michael can never leave his family. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the most closely tied in TV show to the MCU. Season 1 is definitely a snooze fest. Very boring, very awkward, very meh. But after that, it really picks up, and it's really, really good. I haven't seen the most recent season 6, I think. But they do some really cool stuff with Ghost Rider, with alternate dimensions, with mutants, or Inhumans, or whatever. And of course, Coulson. Coulson's in it, which is obviously the best selling point. Probably the #1 TV show for you to watch, because it integrates so much more closely than all the other MCU shows. It's really good. Alright, now it's time for honorable mentions. These are shows that started in the last decade, but they ended in this decade, and they're favorites. For example, Psych. Psych is really, really good. Probably one of my favorite shows of all time, and that's not an exaggeration in the slightest. Although it is very recent and relevant, because not only did seasons, 6, 7, and 8 end in this decade, but we also got Psych the Musical, Psych the Movie, and Psych the Movie 2, which was actually supposed to be released last holiday, just a couple months ago. It got pushed back to 2020, though, this year, so hopefully we'll get Psych the Movie 2 this year. One of my favorite TV shows to watch of all time. It's funny, and it's great. Parks and Rec is another good one, just slapstick comedy. It's fun. Honorable mention because it ended in this decade, but it started last decade. A mockumentary style like The Office, which I actually forgot to put The Office. The Office is also officially on this list, though I don't have a video for it. Yeah, The Office, so good. Another honorable mention, Community, one of my favorite TV shows of all time. This is a really blurry, bad video. I should have taken a little more time to get better video, but that's okay. Super funny. I love that it references itself, so the more you watch it and the further you get into the seasons, like the funnier it gets. And that's pretty unique. That doesn't really happen very often in TV shows. Hashtag 6 seasons and a movie. We got season 6. Still waiting on that movie though, so hopefully this decade we will be blessed with a Community movie. I guess we'll see.
You and Sam are a good team.
You're just annoyed because Mike called me first and not you.
It's not goodbye, it's just in case.
Don't test me again, or the next time I leave a gift at your mom's house.
Jamaica, those guys are probably very easygoing.
Another honorable mention, Chernobyl, an HBO exclusive. It's an honorable mention though because I haven't actually seen it, even though it came out this year, or last year, this decade. I don't have HBO, so I haven't been able to watch it yet. Though there is a Blu-ray that is floating around, so I'll have to pick that up and check it out. But it just looked incredible. Because I don't have HBO, is his Dark Materials / The Golden Compass TV show. The movie from like 15 years ago was kind of a dud. Let's see, I've got the book somewhere. Artemis Fowl, Halo. Oh, Golden Compass. Really, really good books. But yeah, I really want to watch this so bad. I need to get HBO, or just wait for this to come out on Blu-ray, I guess. But I love the books, and this actually looks like a very faithful adaptation, which is why I'm super excited about it. Well, that about wraps it up. Do you like that? Should I dab? Yeah? Anyways, thanks for watching, and always appreciate the view, and we'll see ya later.